Welcome to the last episode of the R&B Fantasy Draft. It's Friday. You don't stop. You just left the barbershop. You got the fresh fade. You geared up. You just got your car washed. Music up. Windows down. Rims on. Pods up. It's a weekend thing. And also to take you into the weekend properly with the latest episode. You hear me? This last episode, of course, is we're going to get into the elephant in the room. And we absolutely have to talk about it. That presence is way too big to not have the discussion. I know who it is. They kind of know who it is. And like I said last week, I think you know who it is. Well, we'll get into that in just a moment. Plus, we discuss all of our honorable mentions, the great singers that we didn't get to select, as well as the producers. Plus, we make one last pick of our wild card selections, our backup selections for the groups. All right, so just remember this podcast was recorded on September 19th. So keep that in mind, for later in the show. It'll make sense later. All right, check out all of the shows, including this series, on the South Shore Ave YouTube channel, plus wherever you listen to podcasts. And, of course, if you have the option to rate the show, even if it's just with a like, show me that love, especially when it's reflected with star love. And just in case you weren't aware, it's good for the soul. That 5-star love is good for the soul. All right, so let me get some of that. Let me get some of that love. All right, check out SouthShoreAve.com as well to watch the whole draft in one place, as well as ciphering through the rest of my catalog. All right, once again, that's SouthShoreAve.com. Let's get to it. It's the Ave Podcast with Cal C on South Shore Ave Radio. It's R&B time.
Welcome to the Ave Podcast with Cal C on South Shore Ave Radio.
But before we wrap up, I know we're gonna go over like our honorable mentions and stuff, which is gonna get a little crazy. But I want to address the elephant in the room before we go to the honorable mentions. Man, and shout out to a couple of my friends because when I told them that we were doing this draft, we had a long discussion about this, and it was a big controversy. We were laughing about it, and it made me more hyped to do this because I was like, I want to see who selects this person. I'm like, I'm purposely not going to do it, but I want to see who selects it. And one of my friends in particular was like, "You're crazy. You better select it within the first 2 rounds." What'd you say?
Kills R. Kelly. I knew. I was like, I don't want to do it. It was like,
can't work with that crazy man.
Yeah, I couldn't, man.
I couldn't do that.
Yeah. I can't. Just think about it, Calvin. You'll be in the studio trying to put this group together, and you don't know what'll be going on in the studio closets. You know what I mean?
He's going to cost us too much money in legal fees. We can't afford it. That's the only.
But here's the thing: it's
not the talent.
Before all this stuff and the trial, everything like that, R. Kelly has one of the most insane discographies.
Number one, yeah.
Ever. By far for writing and producing in R&B.
He's on the charts of every genre, including every genre.
He's got a number one with Celine Dion, plus Michael Jordan, plus it's ridiculous how many songs that he has that's like just ridiculous, like just out of this world, like just memorable songs that you just hum in your back of your head. He has so many hits. And
like I Believe I Can Fly.
Yeah, but I'm saying the things you don't even know he wrote.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, 100%.
Like, I just like that song.
Huge.
Did you guys know he wrote "Fortunate"? Like the Maxwell song?
Yeah,
I did not know that. I did not know that until yesterday.
No, because he wrote that's on the Life album, so he wrote a lot of tracks on the Life album.
Right.
His discography is so stupid; it defies logic.
Yep.
Shame.
It's just a business decision not to.
Yeah.
I agree.
I looked at it when I was putting this together. I looked at it.
I have it written down.
I didn't. I see, but you're stronger than me. I couldn't let my pen or my fingers type it in. I couldn't. I thought about it, and I went to put the K and a voice came out of left field like, don't do it.
Like, no, don't do it.
You know?
You could pay him off as a writer. Pay off. No residuals. We don't even intertwine.
Right from jail as a ghostwriter.
Pay off. That could work.
I had a couple things. I was thinking, number one, you can hook wires to his head like Stephen Hawking and just from jail and just make him produce it.
and then he never has to leave the jail cell. I was thinking.
I feel like that was his life in the studio for a while.
Maybe.
Sadly.
That's probably why he went insane and did all this stuff.
I was thinking you can either have a police presence at the studio. The moment he finishes, his fingers leave the keyboard. You put him in the straight jacket, back on the gurney, Hannibal Lecter mask, like Hannibal Lecter. You wheel him out.
Is that what they're doing to? I'm just saying.
Oh boy.
Hey,
anyway,
he has to have an
genre.
SSL board in the studio. I don't understand how this guy records so much music. Can somebody explain how he does this?
That I ain't touching until we come off it.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh yeah. I ain't touching that one either. But because I'm like with him, right? It's hilarious. I did it. I know everybody's like walking away from that one. but with R. Kelly though, like I did a podcast a few years ago about this is right after the Surviving Kelly one. We did it was one of my favorite pods that we did because unfortunately, God bless the dead. But my guest, my brother, South Shore family member Headley, was on it, and we went back and forth because between the music industry and the fact that he at the time lived in Chicago during that whole period, like the amount of stories that we went into, like on the podcast and even off, because for years, because he used to talk about how like Chicago protected him like no other back then.
Yes,
it was super wild. Like even when the midst of all that stuff was going on, radio people were like protecting him. And I remember me personally, like I haven't bought a record of his, like a single from his in over 2 decades, right? Then Ignition comes out and I'm hearing it, I've been fresh out the kitchen. And I'm sitting there like, no, don't you do it. Don't you do it. Don't do it. And then when he came out with Step in the Name of Love, I was like, Jesus Christ.
Crazy.
He's back.
I'm like, what? How is he doing this? Like he literally, that Chocolate Factory album literally went from people hating his guts to people being like, yeah, but those girls are kind of fast though. I don't know if you really did. And you're like, and that to me showed you the power of music.
That stepping thing took over the Midwest.
Yeah.
It still is right now.
Yep.
True.
Yep.
It's sad. Yeah. It's once that music starts, you're like, no, don't stop. It's
the whistle start.
But I was in the car like bounce, 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 and I'm like, stop it.
Yeah.
Two things I'll add before we get to the honorable mentions. He had what you would call it. I would say in the last 30 years, he's probably the most important. Take away all this stuff. He's probably the most important. Most important. He's a whole industry. Like he himself is a whole industry. I think he's the most important artist in the last 30 years. But when you add all the other stuff, the morality's kicking. You can't do it.
Yeah.
You can't do it. But I know there's some people looking at this like, I can't believe these guys didn't add it. But I know one of my friends in particular is going to be on my neck for this, but I'm like, I can't do it. Because you think some of the songs he wrote was involving, like, it was inspired by the victims. I'm like, I can't do it.
Right there. Morality behind that. Yeah.
I'm like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't.
I thought about it, like I said, for a second, and then I said, there's zero chance of me putting him on my list.
Yeah.
I mean, right now, the hard thing is, like, I've had some times where it's like, it's a hard place to sit as a DJ because there's times people come and request these songs.
Yeah.
And what do you do?
All the time.
The customers are always right. But in your soul, you feel like, I shouldn't be playing this shit, because if that was my daughter or niece or somebody, I would have been in prison before he wouldn't have made it to prison. Because I'm pretty sure I would have killed him. You know what I mean? So when you think about it on that aspect, if you have any females in your life, like young women in your life, this guy was like beyond like slimy, and people try to make excuses. I've heard it all. I've heard like, yeah, but their parents bought them there and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, you're only saying that because who he is. If he was somebody around your corner, you would go there with pitchforks.
But you know what's sad though? He didn't just inspire music. He inspired a whole style of pedophilia. Do you know what I'm saying? Like at that time, like with the whole Aaliyah rumor, like just a lot of girls, and it like we're mimicking the whole thing, the whole age gap. It was like actually regular stuff, like people 14, 15-year-olds, 13-year-olds were leaving their school, sneaking off and talking to 18-year-olds, like 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds. Like that was happening, and it was actually kind of regular. And that's why, like later on, some of these same people now are sort of defending it, because to them, like there's all kinds of things. Yeah, there's all kinds of things being broken at that time.
They've been defending him,
and
for
even
decades,
more so in the industry. You know what I mean? Now is the time where everybody, they're just like they're really locking down on everything. You can't even say certain things now. And I'm not saying that it's right what happened, but a lot of this stuff was normalized. Like I personally, this is a big topic, but all the people around him that were enabling him, the label itself, the execs, they knew exactly what was going on. They enabled him. They were paying him to keep doing it.
I think there was more than execs. Not to cut you off, but I think there was more than execs that knew what was going on.
Absolutely.
But everybody ignored it because the power of the pen.
They were making the money, man.
Yeah.
They're trying to keep the machine going.
You need a hit record. You gotta get R. Kelly to do it. Like this.
And then before it fell on them, everything went to court, and now he's in jail.
Yeah. And now we pretend like it didn't happen.
Clean him.
It's the Harvey Weinstein thing. Every Hollywood worked with them, and they pretend like they don't know him anymore.
Yeah.
You just had a war show saying that he was God, like that's a couple months ago. Now you're like, who's Harvey? I know Harvey. Same thing in music industry. Same exact thing.
It's like, this stuff happens. This stuff happens in the industry. It happens. It's so just people accept it. So
that's it.
Right.
People do not realize how dirty the music industry is.
The root of all evil is money, man. And once you're making money, people turn and look.
Well, that's what it is. Yeah, all industries. Once you get to certain levels, it's like all kinds of powerful people doing all kind of crazy stuff just get away with stuff.
Yeah.
We're not gonna get this podcast canceled though, so we're gonna stop talking about.
Now before we go, a couple things here.
We didn't say any trigger words, but
no. We're good. We're good. But I want to get to the honorable mentions of like there's a lot of people here that we left out because of creative reasons and how people were drafting it. It's self-determined where you're gonna go, but there's a lot of heavy hitters on your list, and I'm gonna start off with Shalli because when you're picking your list, your last pick. I'm just, and look at me. I love you.
I want to hear.
I thought for sure your last pick. Looking at your list, I was like, "Oh my God, she's gonna pick Janet Jackson, and Janet Jackson is gonna be oh my God, can you imagine Janet Jackson with that list?" That's what I thought you were gonna go when he did that because I'm like, nobody picked her, and I'm like, oh, she would fit right into that group right.
She was on my list actually. If somebody took Bobby, she was on my list.
I'm just thinking about realistic marketing, you know what I'm saying? And I love Janet actually, like definitely a prototype that I love, but I just think about realistic marketing, the general even ages of everybody and stuff like that, and how they vibe on stage. Janet in a group, it's too much. Janet needs to be alone, man.
This is the perfect scenario because we have people that are dead on here, so like I don't think it matters.
Yeah, that's
in their prime, this is the list of the prime.
You're right. I just feel like, I mean, if I was to pick Janet from a certain era, like if I was to pick Janet from
like Rhythm Nation, or you want to go after that?
What's that one? Was she
the Janet album, the self-titled album?
The one Q-Tip.
That's the way love goes. That Janet.
Around there.
Yeah.
Yes. Then she would replace Chloe.
Because I'm thinking Janet. I'm thinking in concert, Janet and Bruno Mars.
Yeah, but I'm also, I'm just thinking, like, I don't know, just vocal balance. Like I didn't want to put like Jasmine Sullivan because I have Lizzo, and I'm like, that's already too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Chloe has a soft voice, but she can keep up with Lizzo. So I just thought, and they all can move. You know what I mean? So I just thought that where Chloe with her sister wasn't doing the crazy choreography that she does alone right now. So she could keep it subdued if she needs to. So I was thinking all that stuff. Honorable mentions. I'm just gonna go quickly because these are some people that I love so much, but just didn't work for this group. Shantae Moore.
And
some of y'all are in touch with me right now. I'll just do one little performance for doing a particular song. I had a list of whistlers, and she was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Shantae Moore, Mariah, Amel Lario.
Mariah.
They can all whistle and they're beautiful voices. Different styles.
Mariah also.
Yeah, love them. And then I had I had Chris Brown, but I didn't choose him because someone else chose him. I love Angela Winbush.
I had Angela Winbush.
Did you? Wow.
Yeah, I had Angela.
Love her. Love Feel so much when I listen to her. I had Justin Bieber, believe it or not, on there.
Yeah, I didn't have him.
So some people don't think he's R&B. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Not including the baby that they forced him to do. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I have Syd on here. SYD. Look her up. Okay. She's to me like she's to me like an Aaliyah, but vocally I feel like she can do more. Mm-hmm. But she has that similar kind of voice.
Yeah.
Careful.
What'd you say?
I said careful.
Yeah, and then I had Aaliyah on there as well. Although I don't see Aaliyah, but I don't know.
Yeah, Aaliyah was on my list too.
Yeah,
I have Joe on there. Joe. Ooh,
I forgot about Joe.
To this day, I love Joe. Like goosebumps all day. D'Angelo, same thing. D'Angelo sounds just as good now, if not better now than he did even then. He's just so good. And same thing, vibes. I just love it. I had T-Pain on here. I'm going quickly. I have Tank on here. I have Tinashe on here. Look her
She's
up.
good. I like Tinashe.
And Faith Evans, Stokely from Mint Condition.
Okay.
Rihanna, just because her vibe really more and the Caribbean vibe, having that in there. And that was pretty much it. But that's just to show you that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I go back, I range, but I had to choose one group here. So that's how I did.
You don't want to hear mine.
Well, before we get to yours, Kevin, who's on your honorable mention?
Oh, my honorable mentions. Singer wise was Howard Hewitt.
Oh, wow.
Jody Watley.
Ooh.
Yeah, I had Jody.
Alexander O'Neill.
Mm-hmm.
Denise Williams. Granted, she was like late 70s.
But
love.
Right.
Yeah.
I had Ed Sheeran.
I love Ed Sheeran. Actually, that's very interesting.
That's a good pick.
That's a good pick.
R&B. He does do R&B.
Yeah, he does do R&B.
Okay.
I also had Neo.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That
especially for the pen. Jeez.
Oh yeah, most definitely for the pen. That was for artist wise. Producer wise, I had Patrice Rushen, Rick James, Teddy Riley.
You know.
I don't know.
Teddy
Lewis or Teddy. I had Full Force in there, production wise. Neptune's in there.
Production.
Narda Michael Walden.
Hey, don't say that with Full Force, you know. They had some bangers, man.
They had some bangers, yeah.
Full Force had some bangers. Temporary Love Thing? Shit.
Yeah.
Temporary Love Thing to this day, still, that's a New York track. That song is fire.
Yeah. They did a lot of production and writing for other artists as well that people don't even know. Like they did things with NSYNC, Samantha Fox, Backstreet Boys, you know what I mean? So Andre Simone.
Okay.
For production. Neptune's.
Yeah, I have them. I
have them on mine too.
Very versatile.
I think that pretty much closes it out. I had Rodney Jerkins in there as well, and Nile Rodgers.
Yeah, I had Rodney Jerkins. Dark Cow.
Yeah. So
those
are honorables.
My I'll go real quick. Mine my last pick, I was struggling because I wanted to put either Maxwell or D'Angelo in that spot.
Ooh, yeah, I should have had.
Why didn't I think of Maxwell? It's like my favorite.
I was really flirting with the three of them, but I'm like out of the three, I'm like that voice with Whitney. I'm like I just want to see that contrast, you know. But Maxwell, I think it was a little too mellow.
Too mellow, yeah,
amazing. You know what I mean? But a little too mellow. And then and I guess D'Angelo's in the same category, different style, but kind of the same category. But I wanted that. I wanted that hit to your chest. So that's why I went with KC. But like that one was tough. I mean, Yeah, I had Mariah on here too. Whew.
Yeah, me too.
Oh man, Deborah Cox. The one, like I said, is we could have gone all day with this, but man, I was playing Raphael Sadiq this afternoon. Boy,
I have him on here as a producer and an artist. Yeah, I love. Yeah, he's another one. He's done so many songs and albums that people don't even realize that he's done.
Very true.
Unbelievable talent.
Awesome.
Unbelievable talent. Jill Scott is another one.
Jill.
Jill Scott was tough. Donnell Jones. I was pointing when you said Donnell Jones. I was like, I know I'm not gonna pick him, but man, I want to mention, but I also mentioned that was my guy, man.
One of the best slow songs of all times. Where I Want to Be. Jeez.
And the video.
Yeah.
Oh.
And the video.
Oh.
And then real quick, Anthony Hamilton.
Oh
yeah.
Anthony Hamilton.
Charlene.
Mm-hmm. Anthony Hamilton. Alicia Keys. El DeBarge.
Love
her, and I love her. And then I also had Bilal. Even though he's not a big artist, like big as everybody else on this list, but his voice is second to nobody.
Mm-hmm.
His voice is incredible.
He's amazing. Style is crazy.
Yeah, his style was insane. And then there's Tony Braxton and people like that as well. Chris, who's yours before we get out of here?
Mine, I'm just gonna go down real quick. Mine, Brandy.
Oh, jeez, I didn't even think of Brandy.
Yeah,
holy
nice.
crap.
Brandy was one. That one was checked off. Brian McKnight.
Yeah, I had my list too.
Oh, I didn't even think of Brian McKnight either. Jeez,
Monica.
Yeah, I had Monica on my list.
What the hell?
I was gonna go female group, and I was like, no, I got Michael. I'm going the other way.
Yeah, Monica was there. Kelly Price.
Yes, I had Kelly Price too.
Yeah, Kelly Price was there. This person, I knew nobody would pick him, but it like I didn't need him. But Morris Day was there.
What?
Okay.
Yeah, Morris Day was there. Somebody took Janet Jackson, Bobby, Freddie Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Freddie Jackson was there. Somebody took Jody Watley, Carl Thomas.
I love.
Yeah. That's on my list.
Oh, this one is one of my favorites, but I didn't need him. Tevin Campbell.
Nice.
Yes, to this day.
Yeah.
Tony Thompson.
Wow.
Took Anita Baker. Angela Winbush is gone. Who else? Producer, I had Chucky.
Oh yeah.
Chucky Booker.
Chucky Thompson.
Even Chucky Booker as well.
Because he produces as well.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said Angela Winbush. Because I love me some Angela Winbush. But then and last but not least, on my list was Keith Sweat.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah. That was toss up for me on that Keith Sweat.
Yeah. Keith Sweat was on there.
I'm gonna run through my list real quick. So I had producers, I had track masters, Teddy Riley, Rodney Jerkins, Kanye West, Devontae from Jodeci, I had Raphael Sadiq, I had Bryce Wilson.
Oh my gosh, that's a good one too.
Yeah.
And I had DJ Quick as my wild card for production. People realize how talented he plays his own bass and everything like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a monster for when Dr. Dre left from Death Row, Quick filled in everything and mixed it like Dr. Dre. So that's why the album for Tupac it didn't have any drop off.
Yeah.
It took over.
Yeah, I love Quick.
You know what? I forgot to mention producers really quick. Everybody else pretty much had the same list. I would add Dallas Austin was another one out on my list.
That's a good one.
And I feel like you guys are gonna get this, but Eddie F.
Yeah.
On my list.
Yeah, I forgot about Eddie F.
Singers. I had Missy Elliott. Can't forget her.
R&B.
Aaron. Yeah. She's a crazy singer. She's a phenomenal singer.
No, I'm not saying she isn't, but I don't. With her, it's always tough for me because I don't know. Go on.
She has a few R&B hits, but
she was raised for singing.
She does vocals for so many people.
She just doesn't do it.
Yeah.
So I had Missy, I had Aaron Hall.
Aaron Hall for sure.
Yeah.
I had Horse Brown, JoJo from Jodeci. I had Coco from SWV. Crazy voice.
True.
Cindy Hiron from In Vogue.
Wish you had Terry. Actually, I wish I had Terry, but go on.
I had R.L. Hugger from Next. Everybody knows Next. I had Joe, Tony Braxton, Alfonso Hunter.
Oh wow!
Vanessa Williams.
Oh wow!
Craig David. Teddy Pendergrass, but I thought that was kind of close to the line.
No, he was in the 70s.
70s. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I thought it was like they couldn't make that. El DeBarge and Nikki from Brownstone. That was my list.
Oh, okay.
Love Brownstone.
I also had Regina Bell too.
Oh yeah,
nice.
Yeah. Saw her in concert. Absolutely amazing. Absolute goosebumps, man. When I look at this list, everybody on this list can tour except Keo. Keo, your tour is lasting about 2 days. You're lucky if you get out of 2 cities. I guarantee you.
I don't have to worry about Lauryn Hill. That's the only person I worry about is Lauryn Hill. Everybody else is on the bus.
I guarantee you're only making residuals on the music. For money, you can forget that.
I'm gonna sell so many DVDs and Blu-rays. It's gonna be funny. They're gonna pump this in the concert hall somewhere.
You're on Netflix.
Projector.
You're on Netflix. You're on Amazon.
There's a riot by City 1.5.
That movie's gonna be spectacular, though.
What?
That's a Netflix special right there. That's a Netflix special. But last before we wrap up, everybody look at their list real quick. I don't even want you to get into it. In terms of explaining why you would make this pick. My backup, right? So again, we'll start with Keo because Lauryn Hill definitely would be out of the group. Who would you pick as your backup? No explanation. Real quick.
My backup is Justin Timberlake.
Justin Timberlake? Okay.
Yes, that's my backup. It fits all the sound, everything. It'll go right in.
Okay. And what about Shalli?
Oh my goodness. Give me a second.
While Shalli's waiting, let's go to Kevin.
my backup, I will put.
If somebody removes themselves from the group, who would you put?
Oh, I think the one person who wouldn't want to work with anybody else is Prince, so I probably have to replace him. I'll go with, this might be a stretch, but I'll go with D'Angelo.
D'Angelo. Yeah, actually, that's a great substitute.
That's a great substitute.
I got my backup.
Who's hold on. I gotta go to Shalli. Do you have yours yet? Okay, Chris.
I got my backup, and it's for good and bad reasons, if you know what I mean. And that would be Janet Jackson. We'd spend a lot of studio time.
Yeah. Lots of studio.
And a divorce.
But Janet would be mine. And at least she could do ballads and club joints.
Okay,
I got it.
Okay.
It would be Brandy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brandy would work.
I can see that with your.
And she still looks like she's 20, so it's like.
Yeah, but I can see that with your group though.
Yeah, smooth and like she could do all the riffs. She could dance too. She's cute.
I can see that.
See, my backup would have been Anderson .Paak, but then Keo had to mess up the whole show and just take him out because he would have fit right in with this. Just I'm hating Keo right now. You know what? Because I mentioned him earlier and how much I was listening to him before, I'm gonna go with Raphael Sadiq.
Nice.
I would go with him and just call it a day because you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. You get the production, everything else, the music, the writing, like it fits right in. It fits right in. But yeah, it's just crazy. Like I said, you got people like Mariah off the list. It's just Aaliyah. It's just crazy. It's crazy. But that's That's the beauty of this, right?
That's how deep it is. Think about that.
But the rules make it tough. The rules, you can't get the cookie cutter ones that I'm going to take this one and this one because I thought about Mariah, but will Whitney and Mariah work in a group together? I don't know.
I don't think so.
No.
Right?
You wouldn't tour. You wouldn't tour either.
No. No. They wouldn't leave the studio. They'd have to record at separate times.
We'd have a great DVD collection of this thing.
Yep.
They'd never go in shows.
We'd have holograms of Whitney and Mariah on different ends of the poster.
Behind the scenes is gonna be bonkers though.
Oh man. Amazon Plus, Amazon Prime. It's fitted, it's ready. But with that note, everybody, listen, thank you guys for doing this. This was awesome. This is not what I expected to turn out, but it was on the level that I expected to turn out. So I'm very happy that we all did this together and shared the history and the stories. And this was really awesome. I can't wait for this to come out. Everybody to see it. So but with that note, I want to give everybody this last little space to plug whatever you want to plug. I'm going to start with ladies first.
Sure.
I'm gonna start with Shalli and just whatever you want to plug. And before we wrap up, give her your Twitter handles, your Instagram handles, whatever you want to do with the next 30 seconds. Take this time and do what you would like to do. And thank you for coming on as a first-time guest.
Oh, this was awesome, actually, and it got me thinking and doing some research. So thank you for having me.
No problem.
So if you want to find all things Shalli, the best place to go would be Instagram, actually. And if you want to know more, you can click the link in my bio. You can find my music that way. I do have a new single coming in the middle of October called Time for You. So please look out for that. And yeah, a lot more things planned for the near future. Again, Shalli Sings on Instagram.
Okay, perfect. Okay, Wukup Productions with your group here, man. Before we get to the last list of just running everybody's group, 30 seconds, man. Run your talk your talk. Talk your talk.
Talk my talk. Okay. Don't let the name fool you. It's not only the soca thing that I'm about. I'm all about good music. You can catch me again on MyLime Radio on Thursdays 2 until 5, where soca is live for 3 hours. And then on Friday, 2 until 4, and then we're out the door into the weekend on MyLime Radio. So the Friday show is an old school show. Each Friday is a different decade. So we got 4 Fridays in the month, sometimes 5. So you'll get the 70s, the 80s, 90s, 2000s, and sometimes the 2010s. So check it out. Instagram account is WUKUP Productions. So hit it up.
There you go. Chris Nice, your turn.
Simple. You can find me at chrisnice.com. Instagram, it's at DJ Chris Nice. I put a project together last year, and it's to represent our culture. It's called the Club Caribbean TV show. So we shot the pilot for it. So now we're in the midst of shopping it. But if you could try to go on the YouTube on our YouTube page and just subscribe and whatnot, because building the numbers behind it is a good thing. It's something we could definitely use. And it's the same thing on YouTube, Club Caribbean TV show, right? And what it is, like I said, it's about the culture. This show, what I tell people, well, only certain people, I told them, this show is bigger than me. I had the idea for this show, but this show represents everything I am and a lot of people that I know I am, and that's Caribbean. So even though I play everything from hip hop to funk to this and that, at the end of the day, I was born in the Caribbean. So I want to help shine a light on the Caribbean and shine a light on Caribbean music. So it's called the Club Caribbean TV show. Look out for it. Like I said, it's being shot right now. And that's what I'm pushing right now. We also have a Juve section in the Miami Carnival that you can register for. Also, come and join us on the road. Anybody who's ever played Juve, it's craziness, paint, powder, it's madness, it's fun. You know what I mean? It's from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. October 8th in Miami. So you can get at me again at the clubcaribbeantvshow.com/shop/ you can order all your stuff and join us on the road. So that's the two things. My Mixshow should be back on air. If not this Friday, next week Friday, and that's the not the Club Caribbean, the Grooves and Rhythms Mixshow on MyLimeRadio.com. I've been off air for a couple of months, but I'll be back on. So a lot of things going on, but also get on YouTube, Club Caribbean TV show, and hit like, subscribe, and let's get this thing going to help shine a light on something that a lot of us here are a part of, and that's the Caribbean.
Bet. All right, DJ Keo.
I don't have anything to plug, man. I'm retired from the music business, so I'm just hanging out. It's all good.
But you got your YouTube page. You got your YouTube page.
I am good with life. I mean, if you're worried about DJ stuff, you'll check it out. But you know what? I'm good with life right now. Life is good, so I'm here. That's about it.
We love that as well.
That's what it's about, man. Happiness.
Yes.
Happiness.
There you go. And to wrap up really quickly, just want to go over this one more time. So Wukup Productions with his team, the headliners Prince, and he's got Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis working back together with him again, followed by Tina Marie, The Weeknd, Sade, and D'Angelo's knocking at the door. He's just waiting for Prince just to have a fit and leave. He'll go right into that spot. He could do most of this stuff. He's not Prince.
That's true.
But he could do most of this stuff.
He can do a lot. He could do
most of this stuff. The group will still be successful. But it definitely works. Keo's got Mike Jacks with Usher. Got Timbaland creating a whole new genre for them. Lauryn Hill, they got the Flyer Private. Uber and Flyer Private. Take care of all the things. Bring the kids, the family, everything she needs. Her holistic doctors, everything. But we're gonna make this work. And then we got Anderson .Paak wrapping it up, and with Justin Timberlake just begging for somebody.
Backup singer Justin Timberlake.
Yep.
Somebody will be quitting. Somebody will give him that space. I guarantee you.
Mm-hmm.
And we know who.
And then you got myself with The Voice. Whitney Houston is Taking Me to Castles, followed by Jermaine Dupri. He's looking out for her work, as well as Beyonce, Chris Brown, and then wrapping it up with that monster voice, KC. But then at the end, again, if something happens to Jermaine Dupri, if he gets a stomach virus, here comes Raphael Sadiq. He's stepping in right the door. Shalli's got the new school energy going right now with Bruno Mars, aka Bruno Bars. I'm gonna trademark that. Followed by D-Mile, Lucky Day, Lizzo, and Chloe Bailey, and she got Brandy wrapping it up with
That's nice.
I like the list. I really like that.
Yeah, I like that list.
And then Chris Nice is wrapping it up. He was very mad that he was picking last. To a temper tantrum, but at the end of the day, his group made out nice. Mary J. Blige with Babyface, taking care of everything. You got Luther Vandross, Anita Baker, and Bobby Brown, which some people might think is a surprise, but when you break it down, not really. Not really. It definitely works. And then again, Janet Jackson is just sitting there, just hovering like a hummingbird, just waiting.
Janet Jackson as a backup. That is, that's. Would that happen?
Crazy times for it.
That's what I'm saying.
Hopefully she doesn't see this and cut all of us off, especially.
Right? Whoa.
But once again, guys, thank you once again for doing this and hopping on the Ave Podcast to do this. And it was definitely a pleasure to have this.
No, thank you, man. It was fun.
No, man.
Absolutely. It was fun. Pray for Keo, man.
This is the end of the podcast series, the R&B Fantasy Draft. Look, I absolutely thank you for listening and for watching on the YouTube, the YouTube channel for the last 6 weeks, and listening to our selections, watching our selections, our wide-ranging conversations, and all the directions it took us. I'm going to do this again in 2023 at some point, most likely, definitely with another genre, musical genre. We'll figure that one out in terms of when, but it'll definitely be done. And much love and respect to DJ Chris Nice, DJ Keo, Wukup Productions, and last but certainly not least, the lady of the draft, Shalli. And just to let you know, her latest single, Time For You, is out now on all platforms. I'm going to add that song to the fantasy draft playlist that will be updated for the final time tomorrow. But then again, maybe we might extend it to the end of the year with a song or two each weekend from our honorable mentions list. So you got to stay tuned to find out. We'll see what the climate is and what happens next week, because, you know, I've been so focused on just this series. I've been watching this Kyrie Irving situation mushrooming day by day. So there may be an episode on it. I haven't totally decided yet, but I will absolutely have an episode out next Friday regardless. So look out for it. Check in with me. All right. Check in with me. And hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, whichever platform you're absorbing this episode on. Rate and review, leave those comments, and you can catch all 6 episodes of the draft as well on SouthShoreAve.com, as well as the rest of my catalog. Once again, that's SouthShoreAve.com. For DJ Chris Nice, for Wukup Productions, for DJ Keo, and for Shalli, this is Cal C. And you just tuned into the latest episode of the Ave Podcast on South Shore Ave Radio. Thank you once again. I appreciate you all. Thank you for tuning in to this series. All right, until next week, we out.